Welcome back to the Self-Esteem and Confidence Mindset podcast with me, Johnny Pardo. Today, I have a guest on the episode with me, Tim, where we'll be talking about coming out of the comfort zone, freedom, and things mindset as well. So welcome to the show, Tim. Hey, Tim.
Thank you so much for having me, Johnny.
Well, it's great you can be here. And I know we've been talking on, social media for a little bit, but I'm glad we could do this episode together. And I know the value and information you can give today is going to be really beneficial. So thank you for your time as well. I appreciate you. So just a quick introduction into Tim, then we can go into our conversation today. So Tim is supporting individuals to find peace within and choose living in freedom through tapping into their highest potential and truest truth. So, Tim, can you tell us a little bit more about what you currently do and what got you to where you are today?
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction, Johnny. So what I'm doing right now is basically what you just said. I just fucking love to help people. I got into coaching a couple of months back. I don't like the word coach so much because I don't see myself as somebody who really helps people. It's more like I like to support people in helping themselves and really finding this freedom within them and just creating whatever they really want in their life rather than putting something on them like you need to be successful here or there or you need this or that. It's more like really supporting them and living their life and really creating what is important for them rather than chasing something what they might think they need. And how I got here is 4 years ago, I started traveling because I had that feeling back in Germany after finishing high school. Something was missing. I was not really into going to university right after school. 9 to 5 didn't really sound appealing to me. And I just had a feeling within that there might be something more for me out there, but I had no plan what to do. So I just went to Southeast Asia and I traveled around there for a while. And it felt just right. Meeting new people, getting to see different cultures, getting in touch with, just a different kind of living and seeing that there is more out there than my German bubble that I've been living in for my entire life. So and that's where I really found that how important freedom is for me, not just going wherever I want, but also internally, what I think we'll get a little bit into throughout this conversation. But traveling was the thing that really got me started on that journey of freedom and now wanting to facilitate and help others to create it for themselves as well.
That's awesome. And I love the way you kind of went with your instinct, your kind of gut, rather than what people are necessarily saying to your head, like the typical go get a job now and go do this career path. So I'm understanding it correctly, it's very much going with your instinct of what you felt you needed.
Yeah, pretty much. But it wasn't easy. Because the head noise was very loud. It was being fully transparent here. It was, in the end, it was my dad who told me, we were sitting in the car and driving somewhere, and he was like, of course he said it in German, but something along the lines, Tim, what the fuck do you really want? Do you really want to go to university? Do you want to go this career path and work a 9 to 5 or become an elementary school teacher or whatever plans I had at that time? Or do you just want to go traveling now? And I was like, yeah, I want to go traveling, but what am I going to do afterwards? What if it is not going to work out? What if, all the what ifs, you know it. But he really asked this question so many times of what do you really want? And then at some point I was like, okay, I really do want to go traveling. And if I don't do it now, I'll probably regret it later, further down the road. And that was a thing where I was like, okay, I want to be that person for others as well. Is like, what do you really want? Because this is, in the end, for me, all that counts. Like, it brought me here and it gave me just so much joy and experience in my life, that I just want others to experience that as well and just share that with the world.
Yeah, I love the question, what do you want? And I don't know about you, but I certainly find with, sometimes people reaching out or general kind of like society, there's a lot of people can tell you what they don't want. Like, I don't want this, I don't want to be stuck in this job, I don't want to be stuck in this relationship, I don't want to be stuck in this friendship or whatever, or moaning about something. Do you find that people tend to say what they don't want rather than what they do want?
Well, partly, definitely. What I find more is that people say that where they are right now is fine. Like, they don't even point, like, of course they complain a little bit here and there,
Okay.
but most of the time with people that I interact with, it's like actually it's okay where I'm at, it's fine where I'm at. And because there are these norms and like these pictures of how life should be, as you mentioned, and like if somebody has maybe money, a nice car, a house, or an apartment, and a girlfriend, and a future ahead in some company, we're supposed to be fine. We're supposed to be okay and good. But this is not really the answer to the question, like, what do you really want? Like, are you enjoying your life, or is it just okay? And so that is what I get a lot, is like this mellow middle of like, it's okay, it's fine, getting along. Yeah.
That's a very good, valid point as well. And perhaps not searching inside themselves as much as we could do to actually what do we really want. So what advice would you give to someone who's perhaps in this situation when actually they've realized what they're doing right now is not what they want to be doing the rest of their life, and they're a little bit stuck of how to start finding what they want to do? What advice would you give them?
I think the most important thing is getting out of our head. And whatever thoughts we have, like for me, like journaling has been a tool over the last 4 years, an incredibly powerful tool, because it just gets the things out of your head onto paper and you can look at things. And you have way more mind space to like just look at it and see how you feel, and like really get in touch also what is important with you, because in our head it can get very confusing, because in our head are not just our own thoughts, but thoughts of other people and opinions and paradigms and constructs, and everything that we accumulated and like experienced over our lifetime is inside our head. So solving something inside this chaos, I would not want to do it, and I think I would not be able to do it. Like for me, it's literally writing it down and looking at it, and then going from there, but never trying to solve it inside one's head.
Yeah, and I remember something Tony Robbins said. He said, any problem needs to be solved on paper, not in your head, which I thought was as the world's #1 success coach. I thought that's probably some good advice there, and some good
Definitely.
guidance there. Yeah, no, I like that, getting it out of your head or onto paper, into your journal, just getting some thoughts down. So if people, perhaps you might have been, now you've worked with someone or you've helped someone through this, when they're a bit more clearer of what they want to do, but they're not there yet. They're in a current situation. What would you say about bringing more enjoyment and energy to where they are now? Do you think that's important? Because a lot of us get to that I'll be happy when point, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. 100%. Like the thing is, if we don't have the energy to change now, we will never change. And most of the time, we don't have the energy right now because we're most probably doing things that we don't enjoy so much. like if we want to change things, probably we're right now in a circumstance that we don't enjoy so much. And because of that, a lot of energy gets lost. So definitely like really showing yourself love and like really doing things that excite you, that make you happy, that get your energy level up is super important if you want to change. And I also like, we had a quick conversation before, and I told you that I'm always all in. So also when I want to change things, I'm all in. Sometimes the problem is that I'm so all in that all my energy goes into that, and I'm not excited about things right now anymore. But we need this excitement to have the energy to change. Otherwise, we can burn ourselves out on self-development, basically.
Yeah, seen that.
So, so it is very important to do things that are maybe not productive, that are maybe not the thing that will move the needle for us, but just makes us happy and content right now. Because like everybody knows that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. But just only a few of us really live by it. And I've been guilty of not doing it myself. I've been telling it my clients and like working tons and not doing the things that actually excite me. And it was working for a while, but at some point I was like, shit, like I have the job that I love, like, but I just don't have energy anymore because I was only giving, only pouring in and not only pouring out and not pouring something into my cup. So it is definitely super important if people want to get from where they are right now to like a more, like maybe a more bright or a more happy future. They still, most importantly, need to start doing things now that excite them and that bring them happiness right now. Because chasing happiness does not really work, because then we will always be chasing and never be there.
There'll always be that next goal, right? There's always going to be goals as we develop. Even, you know, those successful millionaires or billionaires who are generally the ones who are genuinely happy as well and make a big impact in the world, like your Tony Robbins, for example, or whatever, or Brendan Bouchard's. They've always got bigger goals. They've always got huge goals, but the fact that they're so successful is because they're kind of enjoying it along the way. And I know I've heard from them, they celebrate everything along the way rather than until they hit the next goal, because they're never not going to have another goal. So I really like your point there about enjoying it along the way and actually perhaps doing something that's less productive, or in your eyes you see as less productive, but actually will make you productive because you're having that time to fill your cup up again. So no, that's an awesome one. And I know I've seen you recently talk about it's a mix between being and doing. Obviously you got to do, but you've got to be as well. So is that something you live by quite a lot, doing and being, having that right mix?
So the funny part is that the first 2 years of traveling, I felt like I was only, like, of course I was doing things, but I was just being in a way of like just doing whatever I enjoyed to do, like no goal behind it, no achievements behind it, just really being who I wanted to be right now and just going wherever I wanted to travel and like going to the restaurants and doing the activities and just everything what I wanted to do. And I also got a lot into like meditation and spirituality in general. And like what was really eye-opening for me at some point is that a lot of insights and a lot of answers and messages came through when I was just being, like just sitting there and not constantly doing, because that gives us time to reflect and get back in touch with what we really want, because this can also change over time. So sometimes we are doing so much that we are doing things that maybe don't even align with what we truly want or our values right now. So I find it really important and it's more important than ever right now, I think, because we are in a society which is very in that masculine energy of like achieving and doing more and pushing and yeah, just building that bigger business and having more zeros on your bank account and all that kind of stuff, which is beautiful. Like I love when people get out and want to create something. But then we need to also be here now. Like as like simple as it sounds, and everybody, like a lot of people might say like, oh yeah, I'm here now, but are you really here now? Like, do you really see yourself for the person that you are right now and you are with this person? Or are you like living in that future version of yourself and chasing that? And I think, as you said, it's amazing to have goals. Like that's how we grow. And I think this is like a sign of a healthy mental state, is that we have goals and that we're driven and we want to achieve something. But then also being able to just enjoy life right now. And I can tell you that because I was enjoying life for 2 years, 100%. There was no productive doing involved. And I feel so blessed that I had this experience, because now I can always check in with myself and be like, okay, Tim, are you chasing right now? Or are you really living? Because for me, it's a balance. As you said, it's like, I need to live right now because I have no idea if I'm going to wake up tomorrow. And if you really want to live every day as if it was your last one, I think it's not just about laying around and chilling out. It's about enjoying the moments that you have, like fully enjoying them and doing the things that you like doing, but then also like creating something, and also like growing, stepping into that next level version of yourself, but not clinging to it. Like having goals, but not clinging to achieving these goals, but rather being excited about the journey that will get you there and the person you become along the way.
Absolutely. Yeah, some great stuff there, and love that you've actually experienced, that 2 years of time out as well to actually just be. And yeah, I can reflect on it as well when I've been on holiday for a while, but when I've been like abroad or whatever, and then you just that couple of weeks or so, just all these ideas come into your head as well, which is exciting without acting on them, but making note of them, and some of your best insights, right, that you can experience. So love that. So what would you say to someone? Well, obviously I'm in the UK, I know you're in Georgia, I know a lot of our friends are in the States, some very busy places, and very busy people, but in my view, everyone's always busy. It's just about what you do with the time. So what would you say to someone who claims they just don't have that time to be with themselves or have downtime?
You just got to make it. Like, you have to make that time and you have to create that time for yourself. And for me, for example, like, I need to schedule it. Because for me, it's again, that I'm full in. So if I schedule my whole day with work, I will work the entire day. But if I schedule my morning routine and I schedule time for myself, which I'm expanding actually now week by week, like I don't start working before. And of course, I have a freedom of like being self-employed and like having my own schedule and all that kind of stuff. But we can all squeeze in some time for ourselves. And I think we should not even just squeeze it in, but we should really create that time as like, it's a kind of workshop. Like you workshop yourself. Because at the end of the day, like you are the only person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah.
So if you're not taking care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally and spiritually, you're not going to enjoy yourself in your life the way you could if you would take that time.
Absolutely.
And also this goal that you might have in mind will not bring you the fulfillment that you expect from it. So I think my main advice would be like, really put yourself first in the morning. I tried it for myself, being like, oh yeah, once I got the work done, I will reward myself with something. Most of the time when I approached my days this way, my self-care and self-love time fell off the back end. And I was just exhausted at the end of the day. I was like, oh, I worked so much. And then I just didn't feel good, and I didn't feel enough because something was missing. And what was missing was the time with myself, for myself. So I started putting like my self-care and self-love time in the morning.
Love it.
Where it's like, I don't do any kind of work before I really like feel like I really spend some quality time with myself. And that is not always the same way. Like sometimes it's going for a nice walk in nature. Sometimes it's doing an expansive journaling session. Sometimes it's going for brunch with my wife. So it could be all kinds of different things. And of course, morning routines are amazing. And I think we don't need to get into that now, but it's like morning routines are fucking amazing and I love mine. But there is, again, there's like just listening to what you really want and what you really need right now. And you might not need a workout every single day, but you might want to just treat yourself with a nice brunch with a friend and have a good conversation. And just really like fill up your cup in the morning and then be like, okay, afterwards, then I will put it all into work. And if you don't have the time, like for example, to go for brunch before work because you start working at 8 a.m., do something before that. Like read your favorite book, a couple of pages.
Go for a little walk.
Go for a little walk, make yourself a really nice breakfast. Just not just downing something on the way to work. No, like create some really self-care time, and it does not have to be these crazy things. It can be like small little things, but you just know that like you did it for yourself. And like just our body keeps the record of everything. So if we have these small minutes, and if it's like, to start off with it, if it's 10 to 15 minutes every morning that you dedicate to yourself, it's beautiful. But we got to start somewhere.
Love it. Love what you said there, and getting that in, because and thanks for being honest. And I've been guilty of that as well. When you just go through your day and you're like, oh yeah, I'll do self-care later, and it's like, oh, okay, it's been a reasonably productive day, but now I'll go to bed, or now I'm knackered. So, and you've missed it. So I like your approach of starting things off. And I know like it's always going to differ from different entrepreneur to different entrepreneur. You know, you hear some people like, well, I get straight to work. Other people, like some of my heroes, one of my heroes, Peter Sage, he shares his like 2-hour morning routine where he really doesn't touch electronic. He's really in tune with himself. He's meditating, he's reading. And then I've heard like, another entrepreneur is like, I get straight to work. It's really important to be with yourself at some point in the day. And I really like what you shared about getting it in early to give yourself that good relationship. And I also love what you said about you're going to be you with the rest, for the rest of your life. And that's something I've shared, saying, why not work on a great relationship since you spend 100% of your time with you? So yeah, that's also a very good point. So a couple of questions, because I've really enjoyed our conversation today, Tim. But obviously yourself, you went and traveled. Now, fair play, that's amazing. And I love that. And traveling, even when I've been on holiday, something that excites me. But that requires a degree of coming out of the comfort zone a little bit. or quite a lot actually. So
Yeah.
well, I wanted to touch on this really about coming out of the comfort zone, because obviously when we leave the comfort zone, that's when our growth, our confidence starts growing. What advice would you give to someone who's perhaps, whatever situation it is, they're struggling to come out of that comfort zone?
In regards of traveling or just in general?
Just in general.
I think what helped me a lot is just putting the focus on opportunities rather than the downsides, rather than the like worst case scenarios.
Yes.
And then it's literally like, of course, this worst case scenario might happen. We never know. And when I went traveling the first night in Hanoi, like Vietnam was the first country that I traveled to, I was scared and I had no idea how everything would work out. Like, I didn't start traveling as a traveler. I started traveling as a guy who had no idea. But I saw an opportunity. And of course, like, also another thing is like really talking about fears that might come up with other people. For me, like I'm super close with my dad. And he always, like, from when I was a child, he said, like, Tim, just fucking do what you want to do. Like, don't care about other people's like opinions, just do it. And I always told him like how scared I was and how like what could happen, like running out of money and like losing money here and like maybe getting robbed or having an accident and then having to go to the hospital and not having good health care. Like, some pretty bad shit can happen over there, like, no doubt. But then he also always reminded me of like all the opportunities. And he just was like, okay, I hear you and I understand you. And I really like, I feel you, like just being really supportive and getting somebody, like, if you want to get out of your comfort zone, just somebody who really supports you. And if it's a family member or if it's a really good friend or if it's your spouse, or could also be yourself by journaling, writing the things down and like really acknowledging yourself for your fears and where you're at right now, rather than pushing things down, is huge. So I think like one of the things is like focus on opportunities rather than like worst case scenarios. And the second one would be like kind of get yourself a support system.
Love that. Opportunities and a support system in whatever form that is. Really, really great advice there for moving out of the comfort zone. So thank you for that. So Tim, have you got any, before we sort of wrap up our conversation today, have you got any a final point or two that you'd like to share that perhaps we've not covered?
I think like one thing that I just want to throw in there or out there is if we really learn how to like trust ourselves and trust our intuition and what we really want, life becomes so much easier. And it's not that there will not be any challenges there, but you know that you will not regret it afterwards. And I think this has been like a big game changer for me, just like really asking that question of like, okay, if I would not do this right now, looking back, maybe laying on my deathbed, would I regret it or not? And if the answer is yeah, I would regret it, then I need to do it. And I think just also acknowledging that we have these longings and that we have these dreams, which maybe make not sense for anybody else but yourself, you know? But us being like just acknowledging our own desires and dreams and be like, okay, like I have this lifetime. Maybe we have more, but I just think like we should focus on this one here. And just really like make the most out of it and like really do the things that are important for you. And sometimes you first need to figure out what is really important for you. But as we said, like journaling is a great tool. But yeah, I think that's just the thing really from my heart is like, acknowledge yourself for what your desires and your longings are and what you really want deep within, and like not let anybody else, not even your own programming, don't let yourself be talked out of something that you really crave from the bottom of your heart.
Absolutely, getting in touch with your heart rather than the head, and whatever's going on in there, and you can help that with the journaling, as you've talked about a lot more as well. So awesome, Tim. So you've given us such value and such insight today. I've definitely been inspired. I know many people listening will have been inspired by you today. So where can people find you if they want to find out more about what you do and yourself?
So I'm mostly active on Instagram and LinkedIn. On Instagram, my name is Tim Dorfler, which maybe you can put it just in the show notes, because if I spell it out here, I think it would take another 20 minutes. And on LinkedIn, it's also just Tim Dorfler. And like, I'm just posting reels over there, very lighthearted stuff, funny things, but with a bit of a deeper message behind it of like inspiring people to really step into their truest truth and what they really desire from the place of their heart, rather than what their head tells them to do.
Awesome, love that. So we'll be sure to put your links in the description of this episode as well, so people can find you directly. So once again, Tim, a massive thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much, Johnny, for having me. It was truly a pleasure.
Of course. So that wraps up our episode for today. But remember, work on your self-confidence every single day.